So we are going to perform an extended experiment, that is the another part of the experiment of the VLAN. In this experiment, it is consisting of a similar network to the VLAN, just the addition of a router ISR4321. Now the requirement for this router is that the experiment name is as stick on a router, which means that this router is often used as to transmit traffic from the locally ended host on a separate logically routing domain, or to facilitate distribution or relay. In this section, the configuration of a router are given to us, and in that manner we have to assign the IP addresses to the host network and configure the devices. So we'll start with the initially that it consists of three VLAN, that is VLAN 1, 10 and 20. In this network, the VLAN between the router and the switch is the VLAN 1. Between the switch and the PC 1 is VLAN 10, and the connection between the switch and the PC 20 is VLAN 20. So initially we are given with the IP address, that is the VLAN 1 IP address is the 10.1.1.0/24. That means it is the IP address for the network of the VLAN, and it is also the default gateway in our network. Then for VLAN 10, 10.1.10.0 is given for the VLAN 1 over here, and similarly VLAN 20 is given 10.1.20.0. We in this case a router is going to be given a last IP address in the subnet, that is uh, 10.1.1.0.224. So we are going to just take the last bit of it, and the IP address for the router will be 10.1.1.254, as we had done this in submitting. In switching, it will be the IP address is given as 10.1.1.253. That it's just we need to assign this IP address as just a static IP address to the router and the switch. The reason for this that the connection interface to the router is directly from the main line, so we need to configure it statically. Now we need to configure VLAN on switch PC1 in VLAN 10 and PC2 in switch 2 and VLAN 2, and make sure that the PC1 can ping PC2 and simultaneously vice versa. So initially we will start with the configuration of router 1. I have already done the configuration of router 1 over here. As you can see, I will show you the commands over here. As the initially you have to enable the router, then configure it using config t, and you need to go in the interface G0/G0. It is the gigabyte ethernet interface, and you need to fire a command as no shutdown. No shutdown, like it changes the state of the interface to up. Over here you can see, then as the line state is up, you just need to go in the interface int G0/0/0.1. I will explain you in this notes. Over here you can see that in this we are going in the interface G0/0/0.1. It is the sub interface created in the interface gigabyte ethernet 0/0/0. The reason for this sub interface that it is used to divide the VLAN into multiple logically sub networks. Okay, now it's time to encapsulate it, the interface, and assign a proper protocol to it. So the command is encapsulation dot 1q1 native. Now in this case, dot 1q is the IEEE standard for 802.IQ. It is mentioned, the protocol is mentioned in this standard. The reason for putting here native is that we are our main line is interface G0/0/0, and we are creating a sub interface of it, that therefore it is accessing, we are mentioning over here as a native. Now we are assigning the IP address to the router as IP address 10.1.1.254 and its subnet. After assignment of the IP address, we need to configure the interface int G0/0/0.1. That is a sub interface for the VLAN 10. Similarly, over here we are encapsulating .1q for 10, that is the VLAN 10, and the IP address is common for it in the VLAN 10 also. Similarly, for int G0/0/0-20, that is for VLAN 20, the 10 and the 20. The IP address for this will be the same over here. As you can see, So the encapsulation and IP address assignment has been done in the router part. Now we have completed the configuration in the router part. Now we'll come to the switch part. In the switch, we just need to click on the switch and you will just get the physical. So you need to go in the CLI. I have already performed the commands, but I will show you from the nodes that what are the commands. You just need to first enable the router, then go in the configuration mode. Now it's time to go in the interface VLAN. After you have entered in the interface VLAN, you need to fire command no shut. That means it changes the interface to up. Then you need to assign the IP address that we had been given over here. As you can see, the switch 10.1.1.253 is the IP address for the switch. So we are assigning the same IP address over here to the switch. Now we are going in the internal Ethernet. Now there has been a concept of the trunk mode and the access mode. In our case, the interface between the switch and the router, the interface between it is trunk mode, and the interface between the PC and the switch is access mode. The reason for is that when we want to connect directly to the mainline, we are using the trunk mode, as the packets are being converted into fragments. And in case of when we want to connect the switch to the end devices, we are using the access port, as the data rate is faster in it. So now we are coming into the interface gigabyte ethernet 1/0/1, that is over here, and we are configuring it as a trunk mode. So for that, our command is switch port mode trunk encapsulation dot 1q. After this command, you need to fire a command switch port mode trunk. Now using these two commands, the interface will automatically configure to the trunk mode. Now to check whether the configuration is proper or not, we need to fire a command int g1/0/1, that is the interface we want to check, and space switch port. It will just give you the information how the information is assigned over here. I've done it. I'll just show you. Okay, here over, so you can see that show interface gigabyte ethernet show port, and here I am getting the trunk port that I had changed over here. Similarly, I have to now change the interface g1/0/2 and g1/0/3 as access port. So over here in the VLAN 10, I am coming into the interface g1/0/2, that is over here, and changing its interface to switch port mode access. Similarly, I'll go in the VLAN 20 and go in the interface g1/0/3 and switch port mode access. After this, we need to cross verify that using these command that the mode has been proper or not. So I've done over here, as you can see the show end g1/0/2 for the VLAN 10 and switch port. So it's showing me the static access. So we have successfully configured the devices. Now it's time to configure the end devices. In my case, I have done, so I'll just show you how to do that. You just need to click the PC one, and you need to go in the configuration. Now in the configuration, your gateway should be the IP address that you have assigned to the router. In my case, it is 10.1.10.254, and the DNS server should be the same. And we need to even assign the IP addresses to the PC itself. Therefore the IP address over here I have assigned is 10.1.10.1, and it's subnet. You have to manually statically apply this to both the system PC1 and similarly to the PC2 over here. As you can see that it is for VLAN 2, so therefore the changes is over here is 20, and the IP address is 10.1.20.1. Now we need some configuration part has been done. Now we need to check whether the PC can ping to the router, the PC can ping to the switch, and PC can ping to the another PC. So I've already performed that, and you can see over here, okay, in the desktop in the command prompt. Okay, so in this initial part, initially I am pinging the command of router. So 10.1.1.254, as I am pinging, I am getting a proper response from the router that it is successfully being, the pinging process is being successfully complete. Now I am pinging the switch from PC1, that is 10.1.1.253. In initially it was timed out because of the configuration was an error, and again I did the similar thing in this VLAN. So in the VLAN, while I was pinging for the VLAN 10.1.20.1, I'm getting an correct response, that is 10.1.20, and properly it is pinging from one device to another device of the same switches. So here we conclude our experiment. and we are done with the simulation. Thank you.